Destiny 2 limits its players to using one exotic weapon in their loadout at a time. Finding one that fits with your playstyle and has a good performance is another piece of the puzzle that makes the overall process of building a loadout daunting but satisfying. Today we're going to talk about the Prometheus Lens and exotic trace rifle. Let's get started. Until the addition of the Prometheus Lens, the Cold Heart was the only trace rifle in the game, and its sole purpose was taking down the biggest and baddest enemies as quickly and efficiently as possible. The lens is much more well-rounded, but make no mistake, it still pumps out big damage like its icy counterpart. The Prometheus Lens's main perk is Prismatic Inferno. It fires a solar trace beam and generates a damaging heat field that grows while the weapon continues to fire. Its secondary perk works in tandem with this. Flame Refraction causes kills with the Prometheus Lens to refill a portion of the magazine. It also has generic perks for range and stability. The main perks for this gun are truly fascinating, and after some testing, this is what I found out. The weapon's main beam and area damaging heat field deal damage at different rates. Single targets will be affected by both. This means the Prometheus Lens deals its optimal damage to a single target while splashing additional damage to everything around it. Next, the secondary perk Flame Refraction returns a maximum of 39 rounds from your reserves to the magazine on kill. With that information in mind, let's talk about why the Prometheus Lens is one of the coolest weapons in Destiny 2. On a basic level, it's a well-rounded rifle that performs well at medium ranges but becomes more difficult to use at extreme close and long ranges. But this isn't your grandfather's rifle. As soon as the exotic perks start going, the shit gets crazy. The Prometheus Lens fires 1,000 rounds per minute, which means it can consume your entire ammo reserve in less than one. In most cases, a gun that drinks ammo that fast would be a burden, but the lens has the potential to cook an absurd amount of enemies. If you're chaining kills together and holding down the trigger like you should be, the damaging field will get so big that you won't be able to see 2 feet in front of you. But you can rest assured that you'll be flame broiling whatever enemies are dumb enough to cross your path. Unlike other rapid-fire guns that seem like more show than substance, the lens can justify its thirst for bullets. Sometimes. I hate to point out a downside to such an awesome weapon, but against bosses and other tough enemies, this exotic will get the job done just about as well as most other kinetic and energy weapons. And unfortunately, it's not a substitute for a power weapon or a specialized damage per second powerhouse like the Sweet Business or its counterpart, the Cold Heart. In the Crucible, if we ignore for a moment that the Prometheus Lens is currently bugged, overtuned, overpowered, or a reminder of how awesome D1 Crucible used to be, trace rifles have an interesting place there. If the Cold Heart is an indication of how the lens is supposed to perform, it could fill the role of a one-size-fits-all gun that will dominate for anyone that's good at tracking. I'm a pretty average player, but I've had some very successful games with the Cold Heart, and I've got a couple of people that can vouch for that as well. Overall, the Prometheus Lens is a gun with a seriously high fun factor, and it's practical. If you pair this with a kinetic weapon that's great for either long range or extreme close ranges, you'll have the Prometheus Lens ready for when you need to incinerate some trash or melt down shields. And there we go. I think we made it through without making too many puns about how hot this gun is. Maybe. There could have been more, but I think I controlled myself pretty well. With all of that said, the name of the game is Destiny 2. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, because if you do, magical things will happen. Disclaimer, I cannot promise that magical things will happen. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.